Welcome to this lesson where we want to look at the subject of the formula. The subject of the formula, okay? So we have 5 examples here. If need be, I'll still give you some more. All I want is you to understand these things fully at the end of this lesson. So, to make y the subject of the formula means that, for instance, let me look at this. So when we have this kind of an expression here, y is the subject of the formula. So what we want is to have y alone. It could still be 3 minus 8x is equals to y. I'm sure you know that these are one and the same thing. So here, y is the subject of the formula in these equations. So in other words, to make y the subject of the formula, it's as good as saying we are solving for y. Okay, it's as good as saying we are solving for y, solve for y. So when we get the first one, 3y is equals to x minus 4. All right, so here we are solving for y. We want to make y the subject. We want y to remain alone here. So what are we supposed to do? We need to get rid of these 3 here. How do we get rid of these 3? We divide by 3 here, and we also divide this side by 3. Is that clear? So we're going to have y is equals to x minus 4 over 3. We have made y the subject of the formula here. We have made y the subject of the formula here. Is that clear? I hope that is very clear. We have the second one, which is p is equals to 3x plus y. In this case, the subject of the formula is p. In the second example, the subject of the formula is p. So we want to get rid of this and now have what? P. We want to have p as the subject of the formula. Okay? So what are we going to do? So if you want, the next step that we can do, just for convenience, we can say 3x plus y is equals to p. I've just swapped them. It's easier to solve it when you have what you want to make the subject of the formula on the right or on the left hand side. Okay, so at this point, don't forget, we want to make y the subject of the formula. We want to make y the subject of the formula. So what are we going to do? We're going to have y is equals to p. This one, we do not want it to be with y, so it will come the other side here as minus. So this is what is going to be our answer here. This is what is going to be our answer. I hope that's clear. Okay, hope this is very clear. We go to the next one. So the next example, which is m is equals to y plus 3 over n. Remember, we want to make this y here the subject of the formula. We are solving. Look at them as equations. We are solving for y. We are solving for y. Okay? We are solving for y. So what are we going to do in this case? We write this one as a fraction. We write this part as a fraction. We're going to have m over 1. So at this point now here, remember I told you that we are solving for y. So we need to cross multiply. So to cross multiply means this 1, we're going to multiply it by y plus 3. So it will still be y plus 3. This is equals to m multiplied by n. M multiplied by n, we're going to have mn. Are we together? Then we have y is equals to mn. Remember, we do not want this one here. We do not want this one. So it will come the other side as a minus. At this point, we have made y the subject of the formula. At this point, we have made y the subject of the formula. Okay. At this point, we have made y the subject of the formula. So we go to the next one. Go to the next one. Okay. Which is 7w is equals to 4y plus 8 over y minus 3. So when you look at this one, we have got two y's. We have y here and we also have y here. How do we make y the subject of the formula? Just like I told you that in this case, we are solving for y. And this one, you have to pay attention because we've got y and we've got y here. So first thing first, like I said, we need to cross multiply. So to cross multiply, you can either start with 7w is going to be multiplied by y minus 3 is equals to this one. When you multiply it by 4y plus 8, it will still remain 4y plus 8. We get rid of the brackets here. We need to distribute. So what are we going to have? We're going to have 7wy minus 21w is equals to 4y plus what? Plus 8. Are we there? Then at this point, what are we supposed to have now? We take note, we have y here and we also have y here. We have got y here, we've got, so the y, these terms that have got y, we need to put them together. They need to come on the same side. So we're going to have 7wy minus, take note, this one, it's going to be a minus when it comes this side, minus 4y is equals to, what is the sign for this 8? 8 is a plus, so write it here as plus 8. Then this one, we no longer want it this side, so it must come the other side where there are terms that must be put together which do not have y. So it will come this side as plus 21w. Are we there? Then at this point, look at what we have. We have got y and we've got y here. So what we are supposed to do is to factorize this y. Y must come out. Y should come out. You factorize y, so we need to have y here. What are you going to remain with here? 7w, sorry, supposed to be y, minus 4 is equals to 8 plus 21w. All right? So now we want to remain with y alone. We want to remain with y alone. Therefore, we'll divide both sides by 7w minus 4. 7w minus 4. So the final answer for y, it's going to be this and that will cancel. So y will be equals to this. Okay? Y will be equals to this. But you can write the step that I rubbed here. Then you write the final answer down here. All right? So we have another example here. This one is even very simple because it's actually part of what we already did here. It's actually part of what we already did here. I may not even need to do it. You just need to put the like terms together here. This one should go the other side, then you factorize. In fact, like this, you can't even, maybe we should have it here as xy. That's when it will be a better thing. So you write it, don't forget, write it as xy. So in this case, you are still going to say 4y. Then this part that has got y must go the other side, so it will become a plus 8xy is equals to 7w. Now look at that. We need to get this part now that has an x here. So it will come the other side as a plus 7x. Are we there? Then here we factorize y. You have got y, you've got y. You can't add them because they're unlike terms. They're unlike terms. So you have got y 4 plus 8x is equals to 7w plus 7x. Then you divide both sides by 4 plus 8x because you do not want this part. You want y to remain alone. Okay. Are we there? So we are going to have y will be equals to 7w plus 7x over 4 plus 8x. This is what is going to be our final answer. All right, this is what is going to be our final answer. This is what is going to be our final answer. Maybe let me think of 1 or 2 examples that I can give you. Okay, so let's look at these 2 more examples. I've just thought I should give you 2 more examples. All right. You can pause the video and do them before we even go through together. So the first one is p is equals to 4y minus 3 is over 3 minus 7. All right. So I told you that in this case, the first step that you may need maybe to do is to say 4y over 3 minus 7 is equals to p. You just bring p the other side. It's easier for me to work it out like that. Then now, you say the next step is 4y over 3 is equals to p. This 7, remember, we do not want it. Please, we do not want this one. So it should come the other side as a plus. As long as you're good with equations, okay? You're good at equations, no problem. You won't have a challenge with these. Okay? Then remember, what do we want? We want to have y as the subject of the formula. So now at this point, the next step is going to be we need to cross multiply. When you cross multiply, remember, we always need to keep this one this side. So we still have 4y, 1 multiplied by 4y. Then this is equals to 3. You multiply 3 by p plus 7. Like this. That's what you're supposed to do. Are we there? So you have 2 options here. If you want, you can say 4y is equals to 3p plus 21. Okay, where you distribute this before you divide by 4. But you can even leave it at this point. Then you say you divide by 4 here, you also divide by 4 here. So you have y is equals to 3p plus 21 over 4. That's what you're going to get as your answer. Okay, this is what you're going to have. So let's look at the last one now. Let's look at the last one. The last one, I told you that the first step is where you rewrite it. The first step is where you rewrite it and bring this one the other side here. What was it? 3t, isn't it? That's what I said. Then the next step now is where we say 2y squared is equals to 3t. Then this one, we should bring it the other side here as minus v, because here it's a plus, isn't it? Are we there? Yes. Then take note that here we still have 2. We don't need this 2 here. We do not want this 2. So we divide here by 2. We also divide this side by 2. So we're going to remain with y squared is equals to 3t minus v over 2. Are we there? Now take note that this y is squared. This y is squared. This y is squared. Okay? And if you remember your Pythagoras theorem, if you have y squared is equals to 9, what do we do? To get rid of this square, we square both sides. All right? We square both sides. Once we square both sides, this square and this one, they will cancel. So even at this point, that's what we are supposed to do. So in other words, we usually don't show the square this side. Instead, what do? We just say y is equals to, because we are getting rid of this one, we bring the square root the other side here to say 3 t minus v over 2. This is what is going to be the answer. Just the same if you have r, okay? If you have r is equals to 4, what do? We always say r squared is equals to 4. To get r, we always say r is equals to the square root of 4. It means you have squared both sides. Now this 2 and this 1 will cancel. So we have made y the subject of the formula here. Y is equals to this expression. So let me give you questions for the exercise. Exercise, make m the subject of the formula. Make m the subject of the formula. All right. That is the end of your lesson. Bye.